What do you do when the person you betrayed won't even acknowledge that you exist? That question has been playing on repeat in my mind for weeks now. My name is Isabel. I'm 32 years old. And somehow, I became that woman. The one who threw away the most stable, loving part of her life for a fleeting thrill. I never imagined I'd end up here, alone in a cheap studio apartment, the walls thin, the silence unbearable, and my mind haunted by memories I can't undo. It all started 6 years ago when I met Nathan. From the very beginning, everything felt magical. We clicked instantly. Just 8 months in, we moved in together. By our second year, we had bought a cozy little house tucked away in a quiet suburb. Everyone around us said we were the perfect couple, and honestly, I believed them. Nathan was steady, thoughtful, the kind of man who memorized how I like my coffee and brought it to me just right. He'd rub my feet after long workdays and never once made fun of my obsession with trashy reality shows. He made me feel safe, grounded. But somewhere along the way, the spark began to fade. For years into our relationship, life had become routine. Work, dinner, TV, sleep, rinse, and repeat. Gone were the spontaneous date nights, the playful surprises, the long, lingering kisses. What remained was comfort, yes, but also monotony. I began to feel the space between us growing. Nathan stopped texting during the day. He came home later and later, and when he did, his eyes hardly met mine. But instead of sitting him down, really opening up, I let outside voices get louder than my own heart. "You're settling," my friend Kira would say during our girls' nights. "You're still young, Izzy. Don't waste your prime years being bored." Then there was Lana, a friend who treated relationships like seasons, always changing, always moving on. "If he's not making you feel wanted," she said, "someone else will." And then came Dylan. He was the new guy at work. All sharp suits, cocky charm, and the kind of smirk that made you feel like you were the only one in the room. At first, it was harmless, flirty banter. Then came the texts, work-related at first, then personal. Music, weekend plans, old family wounds. He listened. He laughed. He saw me. I told myself it was just friendship. But deep down, I wanted to be seen. I missed feeling attractive, desired, alive. The first kiss happened after a work happy hour, in his car, music playing low, our faces too close. I went home that night feeling sick to my stomach, but more alive than I had in years. The guilt was strong at first. But every flirtatious glance, every glass of wine, every working late excuse made it easier to ignore. I convinced myself that Nathan had checked out, that he was too distracted, too comfortable, too unaware to care. And then I crossed the line I swore I never would. Nathan told me he'd be working late. I took that as an opportunity. I invited Dylan over. To our house. To our bedroom. The same room where Nathan once kissed my forehead and promised me forever. I won't describe what happened. You already know. But I'll tell you this, it wasn't love. It was ego. Selfishness, dressed up in wine-stained sheets and dim lighting. And a small, broken part of me wanted to be caught. I thought maybe if Nathan found out, he'd realize how far we'd drifted. That maybe it would make him fight for me. But he didn't fight. He vanished. That night, he came home earlier than expected. I didn't even know. Dylan had already left. I was in cleanup mode, wiping lipstick from wine glasses, fluffing the pillows we had no right lying on. When I greeted Nathan with a kiss, he flinched. "How was work?" I asked, trying to act normal. "Fine," he said. Just one word. Empty, cold. He didn't eat dinner. Didn't sit next to me on the couch. That night, he slept in the guest room. The next morning, he wouldn't even look at me. "I want to break up," he said, staring into his coffee mug. "What? Why?" I asked, panic already taking over. "I just do. You need to move out by next week." And that was it. No yelling. No questions. Just a cold, crushing silence that said everything. I begged him to talk. I cried. I called. I texted. Nothing. I reached out to our friends. Most didn't answer. Even his sister, who once called me her bonus sibling, shut me out. "Are you seriously asking what you did?" she snapped before hanging up. That's when it hit me. He knew. Somehow he knew. Maybe he came home earlier than I thought. Maybe a neighbor saw Dylan's car. Maybe he just felt it. But he knew. And the worst part? So did everyone else. The next time I saw Nathan was when he came to collect the rest of his things. I stayed, even though he asked me not to. I needed answers. I needed to hear it from his lips. I saw you, he said. In our bed. With him. I tried to speak, but no words came out. That wasn't a mistake, he continued. That was betrayal. I begged him, for therapy, for forgiveness, for just one more chance. You didn't talk to me when you were unhappy, he said, eyes hollow. You just replaced me. And now I'm done. He walked out without another word. 6 years.
Gone.
And I was left behind with nothing but shame, guilt, and the cold truth. I had destroyed the only person who ever truly loved me.
Jake.
Yes, not Dylan. Not anymore. Even saying his name feels toxic now. Jake kept trying to reach out, wanting to see me, to make it official. Like we were some star-crossed lovers. I blocked him. Kira let me crash at her place for a few weeks. Even she recoiled when I confessed the full truth. You brought him into your house, she whispered. Jesus, Izzy. Eventually, I found a rundown studio apartment. Paint peeling from the walls, noise leaking in from every direction. I took a new job, lower pay, a fresh start. Somewhere no one knew who I was or what I had done. As for Nathan, he's thriving. A mutual friend told me he got a promotion. He's seeing someone new, beautiful, radiant, probably the kind of woman who truly appreciates the man I so carelessly threw away. Sometimes I still reach for my phone, tempted to message him, to apologize again, to ask if we could ever have another chance. But I don't, because he was right. He doesn't owe me closure. He doesn't owe me forgiveness. And I don't deserve it. I lost Nathan. I lost our home. I lost our future. All for a cheap illusion, the feeling of being wanted by someone who never even knew me. The worst part isn't the loneliness. It's knowing that I chose this. And now this is the bed I made. And I sleep in it. Alone.